Epic Originals presents Nellie Nutgraf, the double best reporter in history in A Hot Story, Part 2, by Tom Angleberger. Performed by Ramon Diocampo. Chapter 4. The taxi got about halfway there when the top of Mount McMadge turned red and burped out a big cloud of smoke. The taxi driver wouldn't go any farther and dropped Nellie off right in front of a place called Maurice's Buffet Restaurant and Volcano Watching Lounge. When Nellie went inside, she saw that it was full of reporters from other newspapers. "We're keeping a safe distance from the volcano at all times," said the reporter from the New York Hustle Stuff. In addition to keeping a safe distance from the volcano at all times, they were eating Maurice's chicken wings and watching the volcano through the window with big telescopes. "Can I take a peek through one of the telescopes?" she asked. "No!" yelled all the other reporters at once, even the ones who were doing more eating than looking. "This is an outrage," growled Nellie. "Well," said a friendly voice, "you know what I always say. If they won't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair." Nellie looked up and saw Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm smiling at her. "That's a great saying, but I don't need a chair. I need a telescope." "Why?" asked Congresswoman Chisholm. So I can see the same thing that all the other reporters are seeing. It seems to me that you would want to see something different than what all the other reporters are seeing," said Congresswoman Chisholm. "You're right," cried Nellie. "Thank you, Congresswoman Chisholm." And then Nellie ran right out the door without eating a single chicken wing. "Taxi!" she yelled. "Will you take me right up to the volcano?" "What volcano?" "That one," said Nellie, pointing. "No way!" yelled the driver. And with two loud screeches, the taxi zoomed off in the opposite direction. One screech was made by the taxi's tires, the other came from the driver. Chapter 5. "Looks like I have to walk again," sighed Nellie. She strapped the typewriter to her back, stuffed paper, extra typewriter ribbon, and beef jerky into her pockets, and started walking toward little bitty Unimportantville. The road was busy with wagon loads of people who were fleeing from the volcano. "Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?" she asked one terrified townsperson driving a stagecoach. "Yes, I do mind," yelled the stagecoach driver. "I'm terrified, and so are these horses." "It's true," said the horses. "We're terrified." "Can I at least take a photo?" asked Nellie. "Okay, but let me put on my hat," said the stagecoach driver, putting on his hat. Click! Nellie got a photo of the horses stampeding straight toward her. "Get out of our way!" yelled the stagecoach driver. Nellie leapt out of the way just in time, and the terrified horses charged past. Nellie got the same answer from everybody she tried to talk to. They were all in such a hurry trying to get away from the giant balls of flaming molten lava that could start shooting out of the mountain at any second. Soon it became dark, and it was harder for Nellie to dodge the speeding stagecoaches, wagons, and stampeding horses and townspeople.
"This is an outrage,"
she muttered as a Conestoga wagon bumped her into a mud puddle. So she decided to get off the road and take a shortcut through the woods, which is where she met Bigfoot. Chapter 6. Now, a lot of people would run if they saw a 10-foot hairy ape person in the forest at night. Others might grab their cameras and start flashing away. But Nellie just started asking questions. After all, it was her first celebrity interview.
"Excuse me," she said. "Do you mind if I ask you a few questions for the big city, big news?"
"I'd rather you wouldn't," said Bigfoot in a deep, gravelly voice like a talking bear would make. "I've been misquoted before. One time I said, 'Grark,' and the newspaper printed, 'Glark.' Who says Glark? My friends are still laughing about it. Plus, the newspapers always call me Bigfoot."
"But isn't that your name?"
asked Nellie. "Of course not. What kind of parents would name their baby Bigfoot? And look at my foot. Yes, it's bigger than yours, but I'm more than twice as tall as you. Proportionally, it's neither big nor small, but just the right size."
"So, people have been calling you Bigfoot all these years when that's not even your name? That's an outrage!"
cried Nellie. "Yeah, but at least it's better than being called Sasquatch, like my brother-in-law. That sounds really gross."
"So, if your name isn't Bigfoot or Sasquatch, what is it?"
"Linda,"
"Oh, Linda," said Nellie. "Give me a chance to interview you. I promise I won't mess up the quotes."
"Okay," said Linda. She answered a whole bunch of questions, and Nellie wrote everything down in her notebook, since it was too dark to type.
"Last question,"
said Nellie.
"What's your favorite rock band?"
Linda thought for a moment. "Spewing magma!" she hollered.
Said
Nellie.
"I've never heard of them."
"No! Look at the volcano! It's spewing magma!" Nellie looked up. The top of the volcano was glowing a bright red in the dark night, and magma was spewing into the air like big chicken fingers of fire. "My keen animal-like senses tell me it's going to blow up soon," said Linda. "We'd better get out of here fast if we want to maintain a safe distance."
"Mind if I take a photo first?"
asked Nellie.
"Not at all. Just let me put on my hat." Click. "All right. Let's run for our lives!" shouted Linda. "You go ahead, Linda,"
said Nellie.
It's my job to get up there and see that volcano up close.
Be careful, honey, said Linda, giving Nellie a hug. Linda ran off one way, and Nellie ran the other way, right toward Mount McMadge, the erupting volcano. While she ran, Nellie typed up her interview with Linda. It wasn't dark anymore, because of all the lava. Aren't you paying attention?
Big, exclusive interview with Linda, the 10-foot-tall, hairy ape person formerly known as Bigfoot. By Nellie Nutgraf. Don't call her Bigfoot. Linda, as the hairy ape person prefers to be called, has been hiding in the woods for years, but says she's considering a move to Big City.
It's very difficult to get a good piece of pizza out here,
she complained.
A lot of the animals like grubs on their pizza. I'm just not into that. They're too salty.
She's thinking of opening a hair salon for other folks who are covered head to toe with hair.
I just want to give something back to the community,
she said.
Chapter 7. When Nellie finally got through the woods, she came out right at the bottom of the volcano. She saw a bunch of scientists packing up their stuff in a hurry.
Do you have a comment for the Big City Big News?
She asked one scientist.
Run for your life,
responded Albert Einstein.
Wait, slow down,
cried Nellie.
I need to know how to spell your name for the paper. My editor won't let me use anonymous quotes.
But the scientists jumped into a station wagon and drove away as fast as their horses could pull them.
This is an outrage,
she shouted as she took a picture of the station wagon disappearing into the darkness. Everyone was gone, and Nellie still didn't have the information she needed for her story. So, using her typewriter to shield herself from the intense heat, she began to climb Mount McMadge. To be continued. Extra, extra! Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm was a real person, and her quote about the folding chair is real, too. Some people thought women should stay out of politics, but that didn't stop her from becoming the first black congresswoman in the U.S. Then, she ran for president. Read about her on Epic in Unsung Heroes of U.S. History by Todd Kortemeyer. Bigfoot is maybe real and maybe not. I personally have not seen any big, hairy humanoids in the woods, but then again, I've never run around in the forest yelling, "Hey, Linda, I've got some delicious grub-free pizza here for you." Learn more about the legend of Bigfoot on Epic by reading Unexplained Mysteries, Bigfoot by Ray McClellan. Will Nellie get her big scoop? Find out in A Hot Story, Part 3 of 3. Available now. Epic Originals. This is Ramon Diocampo. We hope you have enjoyed this unabridged production of Nellie Nutgraf, the double best reporter in history, in A Hot Story, Part 2. By Tom Angleberger. This program was produced by Dion Audio Services. Text copyright 2018 by Tom Angleberger. Production copyright 2018 by Epic Creations, Inc. All rights reserved. Thank you for listening.